weren't aware this morning, the training's going to be presented by Mr. Randall Eimerman from NASEMSO. He's going to be talking about the pre-hospital blood transfusion technical guidance document. So Randall, if you're ready.
I'm ready. Thank you very much, John. So today our topic will be over the NASEMSO pre-hospital blood transfusion technical guidance document. This document was several steps long. It took a little bit of a while to get it completed, but the DMC did a great job of getting this document out, working with a lot of our different subject matter experts. Today we're going to kind of cover 7 different sections, why the blood technical guidance is important, review of the recommendation development process, review the recommended steps for the documentation. We're going to review the NEMSIS-defined list additions, review the state Schematron rules, the revisions of this guidance document, and where to actually locate the guidance document. So currently states are collecting data on blood product use, but there was a wide variability in the documentation process. Different data collection methods still existed, EMS clinician and agency documentation practices, local EMS agency EPCR customization, local EMS agency EPCR versions, and state EMS data repository. The problem identification statement here was kind of the national EMS database queries of e-medication blood transfusions by county discordant with the local level EMS data. So version 3.5.0 of the National Emergency Medical Services Information System, better known as NEMSIS, allows for the collection of a systematized nomenclature of medicine clinical terms, or SNOMED codes, in the medication elements. This was not a standard for version 3.4 of NEMSIS. Blood-related products specific to EMS use, however, are described through SNOMED CT codes. Because critical reporting limitations exist within the utilization of SNOMED CT codes in e-medications 03, this guidance document recommends that documentation be completed in both procedure elements and the medication elements. Because of that reason, the pattern in the XSD allows for only a string of 2 to 9 characters. It allows all possible RX norm codes and any SNOMED codes that are no longer than 9 characters. Longer SNOMED codes would fail the XSD validation. So the purpose of this guidance, the purpose of this guidance document is to provide states with a standardized method for documenting blood product usage, which would facilitate improved data analysis. Improved documentation would support efforts to secure funding from federal and state partners to increase blood use in the pre-hospital medicine and out-of-hospital care. Implementation of this guidance will ensure consistent and reliable documentation as well as reporting at the local, state, and national level. This guidance document provides contemporaneous reporting of blood product administration, and it minimizes the need to build additional custom fields at this time. So we kind of joined the DMC was kind of working on this problem statement. We were looking to identify the challenges and potential solutions with the documentation, the collection, and the identification of pre-hospital blood transfusion. And we're really focused on the importance of accurate tracking of pre-hospital blood transfusion in the National EMS database. So just a quick timeline for everybody here is in April of 2024, so DMC, we joined the Pre-Hospital Blood Transfusion Initiative Coalition. We collaborated on the problem identification, and the DMC members kind of completed a survey on the data collection methods. May of 2024, the DMC members began to discuss the best methods for data collection. We made a data request with NEMSIS to analyze the data collection. In October of 2024, the collaboration at the NEMSIS annual meeting, we obtained a lot of feedback from the EMS stakeholders in the room, identified the limitations of the current NEMSIS version 3.5.0 with blood transfusion documentation. We all agreed on the best practices to document blood product transfusions. November of 2024, the feedback from the feedback from the DMC and the NEMSIS TAC of the NASEMSO pre-hospital blood transfusion technical guidance document. That was sort of sent out for feedback from all the members. Amber Vietanen from the DMC, who's the current chair, she did a great job of kind of putting all those notes together. And in December of 2024, the NASEMSO pre-hospital blood transfusion technical guidance document was approved by the Data Managers Council. The following month, that same document was approved by the NASEMSO Board of Directors. So here we're going to kind of review some of the recommendations in the guide. Step 1, provide the ability to document blood products were given as a procedure and complete the corresponding procedure elements. Here we see all the different procedure elements. The following procedure data elements should be required in your EPCR for all EMS clinicians to document. Following the procedure code should be documented only one time in the electronic patient care report. So this one, we're specifically looking at eProcedure 03, which is the procedure. And here we can see that the SNOMED CT code, the source label, and the EMS suggested label of transfusion of blood. And transfusion of blood was added to the NEMSIS-defined list on January 14th of 2025. The transfusion of blood is the procedure code that you would want to be selecting within the EPCR for blood transfusions. Step 2, provide the ability to document the specific blood products administered in eMedications 03. Medication administered and complete the corresponding medication elements. Each administration should be documented separately. Here we have a list of all the required data elements here again for eMedications. And one or more of the following SNOMED CT code should be available in Medications 03. So here, once again, we're looking at a list just from the defined list. It has all of the EMS suggested labels. The bottom one that just says blood products, there is a suggested or recommendation in there that all other blood products may be documented and mapped to that code administration of blood product. Also to highlight on this screen is the EMS suggested label plasma replaced fresh frozen plasma on the NEMSIS-defined list on January 14th, 2025 as well. So just to review those changes, this is just a picture of the NEMSIS-defined list. You can access this by going to NEMSIS.org, technical resources, and then define list. Just kind of making note here again that the edit to the suggested label from fresh frozen plasma to plasma, and that the procedure of transfusion of blood was added to the defined list. Next, we have the recommendations for Schematron rules for the blood product transfusion. I'll kind of leave them up on the screen here for a little bit for everyone to sort of read. We have some additional notes on the next slide. So as regards to the Schematron rules, it was decided that it would not be best to implement these rules into the National Schematron file with the release of NEMSIS version 3.5.1. Instead, the NEMSIS TAC will build the pseudocode for the 4 blood transfusion rules as written. NEMSIS TAC will make the standard code available to the vendors and states. And approximately 6 months from January 1st, 2025, the DMC will collect state rule implementations. They'll evaluate any revisions or additions and make final recommendations for rules related to blood transfusion to be implemented into the National Schematron file. And this is just a highlight again because the critical reporting limitations exist with the utilization of SNOMED CT codes in eMedications 03. This guidance recommends that documentation be completed in both procedure elements and medication elements. So this guidance document, it is a dynamic document that will be updated as new guidance becomes available. You can access NASEMSO's Data Manager Council library for the most recent version. EMS stakeholders, including new and existing subject matter experts, are working together to create a national data set for blood documentation, implement national custom data elements for priority documentation requirements, edits, additions, or removals of the Schematron to assist the EMS clinician documentation, define list additions for medications administered or procedures if needed, and also preparing for NEMSIS version change to 3.6.0. And lastly, there's a quick snippet of the 3-page document that is available by following the QR code. You can also find this on the NASEMSO's website and the Data Manager Council resources. And that will conclude the slideshow for today, John. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Randall. If anybody has anything, feel free to raise your hand or put something in the chat. Well, I'm not seeing anything, Randall, so I think you may be off the hook for questions. Oh, wait. I was a few minutes late. Will this slide deck be sent out? Is the question.
John, I do believe this will be on the NEMSIS website for the training, but we can also have this slide deck sent out to anyone on the call that would like it.
Yep. And Amber said, "Great job, Randall. Thank you for all you do."
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you, Amber. So yes, this as well as all trainings will be hosted on our website once the recording is completed and edited. Look for it in the next week at the most to give Chris a bit of time. Otherwise, unless anyone has anything else, thank you all for being here. And we'll see you on the first Tuesday of next month for our next scheduled training.